The rain hammered against the windows of the gatehouse on the edge of the Quartermain estate. But inside, the silence felt even louder. Willow Corinthos sat curled on the couch, staring at her phone for what felt like the 100th time in the last hour. No new messages, no missed calls, nothing from Drew Kane. That alone was strange. Drew always answered, even when he was overwhelmed, even when he was traveling, even when he and Willow were fighting through the complicated mess their relationship had become after the truth about Michael exploded across Port Charles. He always answered. But tonight, nothing. Willow tried calling again. The line rang once before going directly to voicemail. Her stomach twisted. "Come on, Drew," she whispered. Behind her, the front door opened. Michael Corinthos stepped inside carrying 2 bags of groceries. He stopped immediately when he saw her expression. "You're still waiting for him?" Willow looked up sharply. "I'm worried." Michael set the bags down slowly. Despite everything between them, concern crossed his face instantly. "What happened?" "He was supposed to meet me an hour ago." Willow stood. "He called this afternoon and said he found something important. Something about Tracy and Martin and some kind of ELQ deal. He sounded strange." Michael frowned. "What kind of strange?" "Scared." That single word changed everything. Michael moved closer. "Did he say where he was?" Willow shook her head. "He just said if anything happened, I needed to trust him." Michael's expression darkened immediately. "That doesn't sound good." Willow wrapped her arms around herself. "I know." Before Michael could answer, her phone buzzed. Willow grabbed it instantly, but her face fell. Unknown number. Still, she answered. "Hello?" Static crackled across the line. Then a distorted male voice spoke. "Stop looking for Drew Kane." Willow froze. Michael's eyes widened. "What?" "If you want your children safe," the voice continued coldly, "you'll forget he ever existed." The call disconnected. For several seconds, Willow couldn't breathe. Michael took the phone from her carefully. "Willow? He's in trouble." Michael's jaw tightened. "Or someone wants you to think he is." "No." Willow backed away. "No, Drew wouldn't disappear like this." Michael hesitated. There was a time when hearing Willow defend Drew would have filled him with anger, bitterness, jealousy. But now, all he saw was fear, real fear. And despite everything, Michael still cared about her. "Okay," he said calmly. "Then we find him." At the PCPD, Detective Dante Falconeri looked exhausted. "That's the 3rd missing persons report this month connected to ELQ. He muttered while flipping through Drew's file. Anna Devane stood across from him with crossed arms. "You think it's connected?" "I think Drew was digging into something bigger than he realized." Anna's expression sharpened. "Tracy?" "Possibly." "Or Valentine," Anna added quietly. That got Dante's attention. Anna lowered her voice. "Valentine's been moving money through shell corporations again. Brennan mentioned unusual activity connected to a private transport company operating through Canada." "And Drew found out?" "Maybe." Dante exhaled heavily. "Great." Before Anna could reply, the bullpen doors burst open. Willow rushed in with Michael behind her. "Have you found him?" Dante immediately noticed her panic. "No, but we're working on it." Willow slammed her hands on the desk. "You don't understand. Someone threatened my children." Anna stepped forward instantly. "What exactly did they say?" Willow repeated the phone call word for word. As she spoke, Anna's face became increasingly grim. Michael noticed. "You recognize something?" Anna exchanged a glance with Dante. "That phrasing," she murmured. "What about it?" Willow demanded. Anna hesitated. "It sounds like the WSB." The room went silent. Willow blinked. "The WSB?" Dante looked uneasy now, too. "Why would the WSB go after Drew?" Anna's expression darkened. "Unless Drew uncovered an operation he wasn't supposed to see." Willow shook her head immediately. "No, Drew isn't some spy." Anna gave her a sympathetic look. In Port Charles, people become things they never expected. Meanwhile, miles away, Drew Kane woke slowly to darkness. Pain exploded through his head. His wrists were bound tightly to a metal chair. A dim light flickered overhead, and directly in front of him stood a familiar face. Jason. But it wasn't Jason Morgan. It was someone else, someone who looked almost identical. The man smiled faintly. "Easy, Drew." Drew stared in disbelief. "No." The man crouched in front of him. "You weren't supposed to find us yet." Drew's pulse thundered. "You're dead." That's what they wanted everyone to believe. The man's smile vanished. "But now you've become a problem." Back in Port Charles, Willow sat at General Hospital, unable to stop shaking. Sasha sat beside her quietly. "You should try to rest." "I can't." Sasha sighed softly. "I know." Willow looked up suddenly. "Do you think I made a mistake? With Drew?" Willow nodded slowly. Sasha considered her answer carefully. "You loved him." Willow laughed bitterly. "Did I?" That surprised Sasha. Willow wiped at her eyes. "Everything happened so fast. After Michael and I fell apart, Drew made me feel safe, seen. But lately," she hesitated. "Lately he was distracted." "About what?" "He kept saying someone was following him." Sasha frowned. "That doesn't sound paranoid?" "That's what I thought at first." Willow swallowed hard. "But now he's gone." Across town, Carly Spencer stormed into Sonny Corinthos' penthouse. "You need to fix this." Sonny looked up calmly. "Hello to you too." "Drew's missing." That immediately got Sonny's attention. And Michael's getting dragged into it because Willow's panicking." Sonny stood slowly. "You think Drew disappeared on purpose?" "I think Drew's been acting suspicious for weeks." Sonny narrowed his eyes. "What aren't you saying?" Carly hesitated. Then, finally, "He came to me 3 nights ago." Sonny frowned. "What did he want?" "He asked about Pikeman." Sonny's entire expression changed. "That's impossible." "That's what I said." Carly moved closer. "But Drew said he found proof Pikeman never really died." Sonny went still. Outside the penthouse windows, thunder shook the city. Sonny spoke quietly. "If Drew was investigating Pikeman, he could have gotten himself killed," Carly finished. At the hospital, Willow finally received another message. This time it was text only. No number. 3 words. "Check the cabin." Willow stared at the screen. Michael immediately noticed. "What is it?" She showed him. Michael's jaw tightened. "No way. That's Drew's cabin." "Exactly why you're not going alone." 30 minutes later, Willow, Michael, and Dante arrived at the remote cabin outside Port Charles. Rain poured across the woods. Dante drew his weapon carefully. "Stay behind me." The front door creaked open. Inside, the cabin looked destroyed, furniture overturned, broken glass everywhere. Willow gasped. "Oh my God." Michael spotted blood near the fireplace. Dante moved cautiously through the room. Then he stopped. "There's someone here." A figure stumbled from the shadows. Willow screamed. "Drew." But as the man stepped into the light, her face drained of color. It wasn't Drew. It was Martin Gray. Bruised, bloody, terrified. "Run," Martin whispered weakly. Then gunshots exploded through the cabin windows. Glass shattered everywhere. Dante tackled Willow to the floor. Michael grabbed Martin behind the couch. Outside, dark SUVs emerged through the trees. Men in tactical gear surrounded the cabin. Dante cursed. "We've got company." Willow's heart pounded violently. "Where's Drew?" Martin looked directly at her. "They took him." "Who?" Martin's expression turned pale. "The people behind Pikeman." Another bullet tore through the wall inches away. Michael pulled Willow down again. "We need to move." But before anyone could escape, the cabin doors burst open. Masked men stormed inside. Chaos erupted instantly. Dante fired twice. One attacker fell. Another lunged toward Willow. Michael slammed into him hard. Martin scrambled desperately across the floor. Then suddenly, A voice thundered through the room. "Stand down!" Everyone froze. A tall woman stepped inside wearing black tactical gear. Her cold eyes locked on Willow immediately. Anna Devane appeared behind her moments later. "What the hell is this?" Dante demanded. Anna looked furious. "That's Director Colette Moreau." Willow stared in confusion. "The WSB?" The woman nodded once. "Yes." Michael stood protectively beside Willow. "Why are you after Drew?" Moreau's expression remained unreadable. "Because Drew Kane stole classified information." Willow shook her head. "That's impossible." "No," Moreau said calmly. "What's impossible is how much he discovered." Anna stepped closer. "What exactly did he uncover?" For the first time, Moreau looked uneasy. "He found evidence that Pikeman wasn't an organization." Silence filled the cabin. "It was a program." Michael frowned. "What kind of program?" Moreau answered quietly. "A human replacement initiative." Willow blinked. "What?" Anna's face hardened. "Oh God." Moreau continued. "For years, the WSB created doubles, replacement identities, operatives surgically altered to resemble powerful figures." Willow suddenly remembered something. Drew, Jason, the identical faces. Her blood ran cold. "No." Moreau looked directly at her. Drew Kane was never supposed to know the truth about himself. Meanwhile, in the underground facility, Drew struggled against his restraints again. "You're lying." The man across from him sighed. "We were both created from the same template." Drew shook his head violently. "No." "You really think identical memories happen naturally?" The man stepped closer. "You and Jason were experiments." Drew's breathing became ragged. "Shut up. You were manufactured." Suddenly the steel door opened. Another figure entered slowly. Drew's eyes widened in horror. Jason Morgan. The real Jason Morgan. Alive. Drew stared at him in complete disbelief. "No." Jason looked devastated. "I'm sorry." Back at the cabin, Willow felt like her entire world was collapsing. "This can't be real." Anna looked sick herself. "It explains too much." Michael frowned. "What do you mean?" Anna glanced at him carefully. "Years ago, Jason's medical records disappeared during a WSB operation. Robin suspected someone was tampering with his identity." Willow whispered, "And Drew may have been engineered to believe he was Jason's twin." Willow backed away slowly. No, Drew remembers his childhood." Moreau's expression softened slightly. "False memories can be implanted." Willow's eyes filled with tears instantly. Everything Drew ever told her, everything he believed. Could all of it be fake? "No." Michael caught her before she collapsed completely. Then Dante's phone rang. He answered quickly. After only seconds, his face changed. "What?" Anna stepped forward. "What happened?" Dante lowered the phone slowly. "There's been an explosion." Willow felt dread consume her instantly. "Where?" Dante looked at her carefully. "Pier 55. Moreau cursed under her breath. "They're moving him." Anna snapped into action. "We go now." At the docks, flames lit the night sky. Smoke billowed across the harbor. Police swarmed everywhere. Willow pushed through the chaos desperately. "Drew!" Michael chased after her. "Willow, stop!" But she refused. Near the burning warehouse, Anna and Dante discovered bodies scattered everywhere. WSB agents, mercenaries, total carnage. Then Anna froze. A familiar figure staggered from the smoke. Jason Morgan, alive. Dante's eyes nearly popped out of his head. "Jason!" Willow turned instantly, and behind Jason, Drew emerged slowly from the flames, bruised, bleeding, alive. Willow burst into tears. "Drew!" She ran directly toward him. Drew caught her tightly in his arms despite his injuries. For one brief moment, everything else disappeared. "You're okay," she sobbed. Drew held her close. "I'm sorry." Willow pulled back enough to look at him. "What happened?" Drew's eyes shifted toward Jason. "It's complicated." Jason looked grim. "No kidding." Michael stood frozen several feet away, staring at Jason in total shock. This is insane. Anna approached carefully. You're really alive. Jason nodded once. Barely. Moreau arrived moments later with armed agents. Jason immediately tensed. You brought the WSB? Anna stepped between them. Not now. Willow looked between Jason and Drew in confusion. You two really are brothers? Jason hesitated. Drew answered quietly, We don't know. That sentence hit Willow harder than anything else all night, because for the first time since she met Drew Kane, he looked completely lost. Hours later, everyone gathered at the Quartermain mansion. Monica sat pale and emotional, staring at Jason. You came home? Jason knelt beside her gently. I'm sorry it took so long. Tears streamed down Monica's face. Meanwhile, Willow stood near the fireplace watching Drew silently. He hadn't said much since the docks, had barely looked at anyone. Finally, she approached him carefully. You should rest. Drew laughed bitterly. Who exactly would be resting? Willow's chest tightened. What does that mean? Drew stared into the fire. If my memories aren't real, if my life was manufactured. He looked at her with shattered eyes. Then who am I? Willow immediately grabbed his hand. You're Drew. Am I? The vulnerability in his voice broke her heart. You're the man who helped Scout through losing Franco, the man who protected Carly, the man who risked his life for people he loved. Drew looked away. But what if all of that was programmed? Willow shook her head fiercely. No one can fake a soul. For the first time all night, emotion cracked across Drew's face. But before he could answer, the front doors burst open. Everyone turned. Sonny Corinthos entered with a deadly expression. His eyes locked instantly on Jason. You. Jason stepped forward slowly. Sonny. The tension became unbearable immediately. Then Sonny looked at Drew and spoke words that stunned the entire room. There's something you all need to know. Anna narrowed her eyes. What? Sonny exhaled heavily. Years ago, before Jason disappeared, Pikeman approached me with an offer. Jason's face darkened instantly. What kind of offer? Sonny looked directly at Drew. They wanted me to choose which brother survived. Complete silence. Willow felt ice flood her veins. What? Sonny looked haunted. I thought it was a sick joke. They showed me files, pictures, medical reports. He swallowed hard. 2 identical men. 1 original, 1 replacement. Drew stepped backward slowly. No. Sonny continued painfully. They said Jason was becoming unstable after the accident. They wanted to phase him out. Jason looked horrified. And you never told me? I thought I buried it, Sonny shouted. Willow stared at Drew helplessly as his entire world shattered again. Then Drew asked the one question nobody wanted to hear. Which one did you choose? Sonny's silence said everything. Drew's face crumbled. Jason looked devastated. Willow grabbed Drew instantly as he nearly lost his balance. No! Sonny's voice broke. I thought you were already dead. The room exploded into chaos. Monica burst into tears. Jason lunged toward Sonny furiously. Michael and Dante intervened instantly, but Drew barely reacted. He just stood there, empty. Willow held his face gently. Look at me. Slowly, Drew did. You are alive now, she whispered. That's what matters. But deep down, Willow knew this nightmare was only beginning, because somewhere in the shadows of Port Charles, someone else was watching and smiling. A man stepped from the darkness holding a classified WSB file. On the cover, Project Pikeman, Subject 3. The man looked at a photograph inside, a third face, identical to Jason and Drew, still active, still missing, and heading toward Port Charles.